So in this video today, we're going to ask Prime Creator about 2020. And I don't know if we're going to get specific information about January or just an overall picture for 2020. The last channeling message Prime Creator was starting to give us hints for 2020. So I don't know if that's going to be the bulk of the message. We'll see where the energy goes. I personally have been feeling that a lot is shifting in this coming year. And I have refrained from, everyone's been sending me channeling messages and videos to watch, and I've refrained from engaging in any material because I want to keep this completely, I don't want to go in with any preconceived notion. The only preconceived notion that I have going into today's channeling is what I feel, and that is massive, massive disclosure and massive change. So we will see what Prime Creator has to say. A lot of energy, you guys. Dear ones, in this year of 2020, be prepared to be catapulted into your new reality. There is massive new energy. We have been setting the stage for this for many years now. And this is a pivotal year because it is a new decade. It is a pivotal year of change. Now, I will say that this is not a time to rest on your laurels. This year will be a lot of work in terms of continuing to keep yourself centered, to continuing to keep yourself grounded with love, continuing to keep your mindset correct, and continuing to work with your vibration and frequency. This year will be work in those terms. And so this is not a time to float along, so to speak. But you will also be given many opportunities to flow, to go with the flow that you have generated and that you have been creating. And so if you have been generating and creating a positive, expansive, uplifting flow for yourself, you will find it much easier to stay in this flow. This is very good news for those of you who have been working so hard on the spiritual path, and in doing your inner work. And so you can rejoice in this, dear ones. This channel is correct in the sense of this year being a year of massive disclosure. We have been building up to a point of full illumination. And while this year may not see a complete illumination, you will see an exponential growth in what is illuminated, meaning that so far you have been receiving hints, or at least the general public who does not know as much as you do. The general public has been receiving hints of what is occurring in the political arenas, what is occurring in the banking systems, what is occurring in your governments, what has been happening behind the scenes. You have been seeing hints of this illumination. And now in this year of 2020, you will see a more full illumination. You will see much deeper beyond the surface. You will see much more of what has been hidden underneath the surface. And so, dear ones, this is very good news in terms of being able to shift what is occurring on this planet and create something better, create something new for humanity. But it is a double-edged sword, as we have spoken before, because it will mean that those who have not prepared for this type of knowledge and information will be taken off guard. They may be confused at first. In some cases, it will or could possibly lead to things like psychosis. things, situations where the mind is not able to reconcile the new reality with the old belief systems. The mind may not be able to make this big of a leap, this type of shift. And so for some, it will be very confusing indeed. And so, my dear light workers, this is where I invite you to take your stand, to take your stage, to share what you know with those who have not had the luxury of this type of preparation, to share the ascension path with those who are willing to hear, to share your knowledge of what has been going on behind the surface with those who are willing to listen, and to do it in a way where you are spreading hope, because many will interpret this illumination through fear. And so you can have a significant impact, dear ones, by sharing that this is indeed a very good thing, what is happening and what is being exposed. The things that will be exposed will not be pretty. They will not be nice to look at. They will not be pleasant to see and understand, but it is important that what has been in the shadows comes into the light. And the exposure is a very positive movement in the direction of positive change and shift on planet Earth. It is what you have been waiting for. It is what you have been working towards. And 2020 will give you a depth of illumination. Starting in January and even now, dear ones, January will bring you information that may be surprising to some, such as revelations about impeachment in the US, some minor revelations about your financial systems, although this will come a bit later in the year, a more full revelation about financial systems. Also in January, a very potent energy, a very potent light wave will be entering your atmosphere and hitting planet Earth. It will be similar to what you have experienced before, in the sense that those of you who have been doing your integration work and your cleanup work internally, this wave will feel very good. It will feel very supportive and uplifting. Those who have not been looking at their shadow and coming into wholeness, this light wave will feel a bit harsh and hard to handle, but it can be made easier by self-awareness practices. And so, dear ones, if you have friends or family who are experiencing a challenging time with this light wave, you can support them by offering to hold space for them to look within. Now, if they are not willing to do this work, that is their choice, and it is not beneficial for you to push them. But if they are willing to gain self-awareness, then it will be very helpful if you can hold the space for them to share. And you may be surprised, dear ones, even those in the past who were not willing to look at themselves, you may find that they are suddenly willing to gain some self-awareness and self-healing. And so never give up on your beloveds, dear ones. Never give up on your family. Continue to provide them a space where they feel safe with you to share. And again, they may never choose to do this, but your job and role, if you would accept it, is to offer this space for them. And if a time does come when they are ready to share, then you are there with an open heart, an open mind, and open arms. And when you can do this with your blood family, especially, this goes a long way in creating the shift upon planet Earth. For it is when you can love your blood lineage and family unconditionally that the most shift can occur. It is one thing to do it with friends, it is another thing to do it with family. This wave of light, this potent energy coming in January, some of you are beginning to feel it now. Some of you will feel it more fully around the 11th of January. And moving through January 20th and even till the 22nd, you may feel this penetrating light. Some of you will feel it pulsing in your body. Some of you will feel it more like a wave washing over you. Either way, I invite you to make yourself available to integrate this light and to channel it and ground it into Mother Earth. When you are able to ground these light waves into Mother Earth, it also provides grounding and centering for you, and it is easier to integrate and assimilate the new energies. And so, dear ones, if you do not know what I mean by this, you can simply put your hands or your bare feet or even your whole body on Mother Earth and set the intention to allow the light wave to flow through you and to merge with Gaia. And this will help the light move from your atmosphere and into the earth. And this is important for the ascension journey, of course, to have Gaia receive and integrate more and more light. And you are an integral part of this process. I would also like to remind you, dear ones, of your power. You are very powerful in what you think, in what you feel, in what you create. And this power that you have comes from your heart, your soul, and your frequency. This power that you have is infinite, and it must be used properly and with integrity if you want to create this shift on planet Earth. And I will say to many of you, dear ones, you are still quite afraid of your power. And it is important that you learn how to embrace how powerful you are. Because you are the ones. You are the ones who are creating the shift. And you can do this with even more power than you have done before. And so I invite each of you to step into a higher degree of power, to embrace the power of your heart and your soul, to embrace the power of your thoughts, your emotions, and to embrace the power of your frequency. For most important, what you are emanating is your frequency. And your frequency can be raised or lowered by your thoughts and feelings. Your frequency can be changed by your intention. And so even if you are having a bad day, you can still maintain a high frequency with your intention. Just because you are feeling something of lower vibration does not mean that you have to lower your frequency. You can still feel what you need to feel and maintain a high frequency state. And this is very important to understand, dear ones, for many of you are getting confused with your emotions and your frequency. They are two very different things. Emotions can affect frequency, but they do not have to dictate frequency, and this is the difference. And so it is very important as you set your intentions to raise your frequency that you continue to allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. If anger comes up, feel it. If grief comes up, feel it. Do not wallow in it, but allow it to flow through. For it is in the flow of the emotion that the frequency can maintain its high state. So you can have a very high frequency and be angry. You can have a very high frequency and be experiencing grief. You can have a very high frequency and be joyful. Your frequency is not dependent upon the state of your emotions, but it is affected by your emotions if you do not learn how to properly manage emotions.
Thank you, Prime Creator. That was incredible. I've been hearing a lot of different things from other teachers about, the solar flash, how that's going to affect us. Some people are seeing Earth as being split. So there's been several different variations of the ascension process, how that's going to manifest. So my question is, why are different people getting such different stories or, timelines? And I personally feel it comes in stages, then there's like something big, but it doesn't hurt anything, and then it just keeps going. So why are people getting such diverse interpretations of the solar flash and all that kind of stuff? Thanks.
Yes, dear one. Part of this is because of the mental filter that each human has, including this channel. Each human has a mental filter that interprets things according to their own belief system, according to what they have known, according to what they believe is possible. Also, what is occurring is these people that you are referencing, many of them are on different timelines. And so there has still not yet been a full coalescing of all of these timelines to arrive on a timeline that is cohesive amongst each channel. I can tell you that the cohesive timeline is one where Earth does not physically split and become two separate planets, one 3D and one 5D. There is a frequency split, but it is not a physical splitting of planet Earth. The cohesive timeline, as we have discussed before with the timeline of ease and grace, is one where there is a graceful, steady acceleration, a graceful, steady forward movement and unfolding. And this is being orchestrated by the collective, the souls of each being within the collective. Each soul has a say. Each soul gets to weigh in. And so it is not the leaders of planet Earth who are dictating the cohesive timeline or the timeline of ease and grace. It is each soul that has a contribution to how things will unfold. And that is why over and over I invite you and encourage you to stay focused on your creations of light, because when you are creating with intention, your intentive creations are amplified and magnified, and the voice of your soul is louder, so to speak. It does not mean it drowns out the voice of souls who are not creating with intention, but it does carry more weight, more significance when your creations of light are coming forth through you with great intention. And so what you will begin to see as we move forward on this path is that slowly each channel, each person that is bringing through information will come into more of a cohesive message. And this may take some time, dear ones, because again, it is not as if the event is happening this year, this event that many are speaking of. You are in the event. It is unfolding in real time, and there is no time, which is quite challenging to understand from a human perspective. But you are in the event now. You are in the unfolding of timelines now. And so as timelines unfold, people will also adjust their message to reflect the changing timelines. And this may be a better way to describe it. As we move forward and timelines change, people who have been saying, for example, that the earth will go through a physical split will begin to see that this is not occurring. And so they will adjust their belief system based on how timelines have changed or how they have jumped a timeline. And so the messages will be reflective of the changing timelines.
What about the company Karatbar and how this could change the financial situation in the coming years?
Yes, dear one. Companies like Karatbars are bringing through a higher mission and combining this mission in a very grounded way to the money system. And this is very, very important because when you have the higher frequency combined with practical forward moving steps, such as has been laid out by Karatbars, you have a great potential to change the matrix from within. Essentially, it is dismantling the old matrix from within the current matrix and constructing a new matrix while the old one is being dismantled. And this is a very powerful way to affect change. And especially in such a third dimensional experience, such as your money systems. When you bring a higher mission and infuse those frequencies into the money system, everything is transformed. And this is the potential of Karatbars and companies like this to transform what has enslaved humanity into something that frees humanity. Take a deep breath, dear ones. This is very important what I am saying. When you are infusing systems of great density with your higher frequency mission, you are transforming it from the inside out, and each and every one of you has the power to do this. And whether you work with a company like Karatbars or you simply go into your bank and spread your love and spread your high vibrational energy, you are transforming it from the inside out. And this is quite powerful.
So the energies have been a little intense. I've been feeling really anxious about a lot of things. So I've been practicing putting my ego in the back seat and my higher self in the front seat, so I won't have those anxiousness. So is there a way for us to ease into the things that we're trying to bring forth for abundance? Thank you.
Yes, dear one. It is very important to stay in gratitude, and you can enroll your ego to help you with this. When your mind starts to focus on the overwhelmingness of your situation, refocus back to gratitude, being grateful for having a roof over your head, being grateful for having food in your belly, being grateful to have a safe place to rest your head. Continue to bring yourself back into gratitude, and you will raise your frequency, and you will find that the flow opens again for you. Gratitude is one of those perhaps underrated things by some people, but it is part of your power when you are able to come back to gratitude and maintain a state of gratitude. Your world and your flow open up. And so it is a very important tool to practice every day. Dear ones, there is a posture I would like to invite you to experiment with, and you may not be able to see it on this screen, but it is to put your hands, your arms up in the shape of a V, so that you are creating a container, a chalice for the energies to flow into. And to imagine that these higher vibrational energies and waves that are coming to the planet are flowing into your container, through your physical body, out through your root and your feet, and into Mother Earth. This is a wonderful position to take during meditation, to do a short meditation, to go out on the earth, out on the land, to put your bare feet on the ground if possible, and to take this position. Whether you are sitting or standing, it does not matter. But to symbolize with your body and intention that you are a receptor for the higher frequency energies. And to use your body as a receptor and connector of these energies to Mother Earth. And so I would invite you to experiment with this posture, to see how it feels, to see if anything shifts within you. This does put yourself in a position of service. So if this is not something you wish to do, you can keep this in mind. But if you wish to step forth in this service, you can be a conductor of greater flow and one who assists the ascension process. With the energies I spoke of earlier in this message, when I said, be ready to be catapulted, this also does require that you are willing to leave behind anything that does not serve. And this requires a willingness to let go, a willingness to trust, a willingness to surrender. All of which you are very capable of, dear ones. I offer this as a simple reminder, and I thank you. Thank you, Prime Creator. I want to share something personal from my own life that's happened recently. You guys know I facilitate the Creation Temple. I talk a lot about creation. And in this aha that I had, there's a situation I've been dealing with in my life, and I've been kind of confused about how to focus my creation energies because I wasn't exactly sure what outcome was in my highest alignments, and there were many possible outcomes. And so I was finding myself getting a bit frustrated and confused about how to, what I should focus on. And then I realized that my personal upgrade in my ability to create is about maintaining my frequency. And I completely let go of the outcome and focused only on being in gratitude, focused only on maintaining my high frequency. And when I did that, things really started to move and shift for me. So it's very exciting. I'm not going to share it yet because it's still in process, but probably by next month, I'll be able to share more publicly. But I think that's kind of what Prime Creator was saying also in the message today, to really focus on our frequency and staying in gratitude, and that will go a long, long way. So thank you everyone for joining me today. And if you want that deeper support, definitely join us as a master or a supreme creator in the Creation Temple. We meet every week via video, and it's a beautiful quantum field that you'd be stepping into to support your life and your ascension path. Much love.